Joe, Gage, Max, and Joe. Gage, Max, Joe, Gage, Max, and Joe. YouTube live show with Gage, Max, and Joe. Never fired up and ready to go. Gage, Max, and Joe. Gage, Max, Joe, Gage, Max, and Joe. Gage, Max, Joe, Gage, Max, and Joe. YouTube live show with Gage, Max, and Joe. Never fired up and ready to go. Gage, Max, and Joe.
Yoo-hoo! We are back! Yeah, baby! Yeah! Love it, baby! Unfortunately, Max can't join us. He's in the Illinois State Hot Dog Championships right now. Currently competing. He's in the championship. Wolfing down 90 hot dogs. For the Illinois State rec. I'm just kidding. He's not. He's a little busy right now. But you got us too. You know, we're alive and we're thriving. We forgot our headphones, so this is why we're so close today. So we got these headphones here.
Nice and intimate.
Exactly.
For our viewers.
Exactly. So if you want us to snuggle, leave a comment below, and next a show you can see us spooning together. Well, first things first. This is Rado's birthday. Today is Rado's birthday, and he will be.
Tomorrow's his birthday.
Hopefully, Rado doesn't see that.
Yeah, that's why I'm his setter. I know that type of stuff, and he'll appreciate that. Setters know everything.
The 19th
It's tomorrow. The 19th is tomorrow.
See, since this whole thing's been going, every day just feels the same. I don't even know what day it is. I don't know if it's Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever.
Don't worry, Rattle. That's why I set you out of system.
So every time I say out of system now, like whether I'm in a private or I'm in a camp, I just kind of laugh to myself. It's just kind of funny. It's kind of ironic. But Rado, you're running out of time to get that green card, so you better find a girl quick, you know, and you know, stay in the United States.
We have some listeners that might be able to help out with that, maybe.
DM them and ask them. But like I said, we've been doing privates. It's been opening up. Yeah, it's been so weird.
Well, for people who don't know, our family, we run a volleyball academy, and here in California, they're starting to open things up for like summer camps and stuff like that and small group stuff. So Gage and I have been starting up to help out, and with younger kids in our club, we're running camps, getting them back in volleyball. We're back in the gym, fired up about it.
Yeah, but it's weird. So every time they come in, they have to, well, first of all, they have to wear a mask, and then you have to do a heat. I mean, you have to do a temperature. And if it's over 99, we can't let them in the gym. So we have to do a heat, and then they have to wear in the lobby and out there, they have to wear a mask. And there's only 12 people per court. We have 2 courts. And they still have to social distance. And then every time they get water, they have to go wash their hands afterwards.
And they got to sing the ABCs.
Oh, that's
20
true.
seconds.
Yeah, 20 seconds, exactly. And then we have to, after every group comes in, they have their designated 6 balls, right? We have multiple groups come in, and we have to sanitize after every single time. And we don't reuse them, but just for the next day. And then we have to have an hour break in between each time a team or a private comes in. It's definitely very, very, very interesting. Hopefully in
Gage and I are Pacific Rim Janitor. That's
PRJS, baby. Pacific Rim Janitorial Services. It's been started. It's been a long founding foundation. It's the roots of this club. It's the roots of all janitorial services, prestige worldwide. So with the emergence, I mean, with the quarantine going on, the emergence of not emergence, but the increase in grass volleyball has gone up.
Popularity of grass volleyball. And we see all over really the country. I think you see a lot of people getting outdoors because it's a little more safer to be outdoors, not in an enclosed area. And it got us thinking a little bit. You know, people always ask us, where do we want this thing to go? What do we want to do? And we always thought like it'd be really cool to run different events and stuff eventually with our YouTube channel, with the kind of group or the team that we're starting to put together. And we're like, you know what? It would be so cool to run just like the dopest grass volleyball tournament somewhere one day. But this is like in the future for us. And it got me thinking, like, what is the dopest place in the U.S. or in the world? I want to hear first from Gage, the dopest place to run a grass volleyball tournament. Where would that be for you?
I forget what it's called, but so the thing is, Hawaii has some of the coolest views, right? So I was thinking, okay, somewhere in Hawaii. But the problem with Hawaii is, why would you play on grass when there's sand right there? But at the same time, grass is a different game than sand. If you've played, you understand. But I was thinking, what's a hidden island? What's it called? Hidden island? You remember where we went that one time? Where there's a big giant grass field and there's mountains in the background. Like, for example, see all these
in Hawaii?
It's in Hawaii. It's called Hidden Island. And remember, we posted a video of me about to whack you with a stick. If you go on the Instagram.
Oh yeah.
And it's called something like that. And I just saw that, and there's like a big grass field, and there's a lot of mountains in the back. You see, like all the golf courses in Hawaii have the same kind of backdrop where we're super, super cool. Or Manoa Valley, I feel would be super, super cool. There's a lot of kind of schools and recreational fields there.
So obviously, Gage is a little biased the whole Hawaii thing. For me, the first thing that came, because since we've been sitting in quarantine, I breeze on social media. I see so many cool pictures from places all over the U.S. And I would love, because we are from the Bay Area, the yay baby. Chrissy Field, which is, you'll see in a lot of people, we'll throw up an image right here of what Chrissy Field looks like. Chrissy Field is this giant field that's along the coast of the bay, like right by the Golden Gate Bridge, and it has this beautiful scenery, and it's this huge open grass area. And obviously we gotta figure out how we're gonna put that together, but that would be my goal, is to run a huge grass volleyball tournament there. It'd be so cool. And
how many courts can you fit? How big is it?
You could run 40, 50 courts there. It's huge. And that'd be such a cool place. I think we get people flying in.
I mean, and also San Francisco has a really, really good, or the Bay Area itself has a really good community of volleyball. So I think that'd be, because is there any grass, other than the AVP, is there any other beach tournaments in San Francisco as well?
Beach, not major, no.
It's probably
we want you guys to let us know where you think would be the coolest spot to run a grass volleyball tournament outdoors. Let us know down here in the comments. We would love to hear it, and any other cool ideas you have for us and what we could do with our channel. But that's one of the ideas that we had, like, down the road. It would be really cool to do.
Well, all right. Leave the comments below. Let us kind of know, and then we'll get back to you. We will respond to you. Just kind of, I guess, the coolest one wins down in the comments section. Now, let's get to our guest here, Sarah Sponcil. We kind of jumped in the indoor game, the beach game, outside of volleyball, talked about leadership with Colonel Trey Johnson. Now we hear back in the beach game. Welcome our guest, Sarah Sponcil. All right, we're joined here by multiple national champion, All-American, multiple AVP top 3 finisher, Sarah Sponcil. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, excited to be here.
So are you from Phoenix? Like, you're born and raised there, or that's just where you live now?
Yeah, no, I was born and raised here. And then when I went off to college to Loyola Marymount is when I went out to California and lived there and still living there. But since the whole pandemic, have, been living here for like 4 months at home. So definitely interesting, being independent and then coming back home. But
yeah. To say the least.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have this viewpoint, but for like professionals coming back, you're probably like, I'm on my own. And then now you're living at your house for 4 months with your parents.
No, yeah, it's definitely different. And it's just crazy. I mean, I was talking to Sarah Pavin, the Canadian, on tour about it. And it's like you leave for college and you don't have like opinions about anything. You're just like, this nice little person. Then you come back and like everyone has their opinions, and it's just.
And you can't leave the house too. And you can't leave the house. So that's just.
Right. I feel like I'm like 5 years old again. I'm like, hey, I'm like leaving, but they stay up till when I get back. So I'm like, okay, not even gonna go out anymore. But it's been good.
So with the AVP, like I know a little about the indoor side and the status of that with a lot of the leagues, and it's still kind of all over the place. They're not sure exactly what that's gonna look like. Do you guys have any sight into what that's if there's gonna be anything at all this summer? And
we got an email the other day basically saying, what I got from it was that there's probably not going to be any AVPs for the rest of the year, just because of, the fans are the biggest part of the AVP, and touring around with no fans. It just makes no sense for them, which I get. I think they were going to try to get some tournaments going. I don't even know, down in the South Bay, like there's going to be a location where certain amount of people can go, and like it just seemed a little confusing, but from what I gathered, there's going to be nothing, so which is a bummer, but everything's crazy already, so it's nothing we can't handle.
No, that's super tough. The other thing we were talking about before is you're one of the few, not one of the few, but in if you look at it like from a certain perspective, one of the few athletes that have to balance the FIVB tour and the AVP tour
Yeah.
And what is that like when you're sitting there scheduling it? When does the scheduling happen? And what I mean, I assume the FIVB tour
Yeah.
is prioritized in that situation, but what is the
Right.
scheduling look
No,
like?
yeah. I mean, we sat down in, November, December after my first world tour ended, and we basically started scheduling that what our, preseason's going to look like, what tournaments we were going to go to, which basically were all of them because we were, in a tight race with Carrie right now. And so it's, the process, the scheduling starts very, ahead of time. And we're trying to prioritize, obviously, the FIVB tournaments because the Olympics were coming up. And we were trying to hit a couple AVPs. We were supposed to make basically all of them after the Olympics, Manhattan, Chicago, Hawaii for sure. Yeah, I mean, we were about to leave on a plane for Australia, and like 3 hours before we left, the tournament canceled everything. And, from there, everything just started to become canceled. So lots of planning, but yeah, I think it is what it is. And
For sure.
now we just start over
Yeah.
when we have more information.
The point system, is anything affected with the Olympics, or are they just taking from the previous 4 years? Like, how does that have an effect with what's going on right now?
Yeah, so I think they're basically taking like everyone's points stay the same, and if there's no tournaments, there might be a couple tournaments they said at the very end of the year, and they're just going to take whoever, the amount of points that you have and just move them over to the next year. And have your tournaments, have your deadline for, when they pick the 2 US teams in June. And basically everything that was supposed to happen this year is just, to my knowledge, just being pushed back another year.
So you said that you and Carrie Walsh Jennings were kind of in a tight race for the Olympic qualification points. So
yeah.
How would you feel? This is going to be kind of a hard hitter here. How would you feel if you were the person that knocked her out of the Olympics after 2 or 3, what was it, like 3 Olympic trips? How would you feel about
she's
that?
been going since the 90s.
I feel like, I guess the better question is, how do you approach that? Like, you're like, okay, like, I'm sure you looked up to her when you were younger, and then all of a sudden now, like, you're like, okay, like, I'm in competition, and like, if I could possibly end her streak right here.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't, obviously that kind of crosses your mind, but that's not, the goal. I think you're just trying to get better and trying to focus on your own team, not really worried about who really is in front of you type thing. And there's so much noise, coming from every certain direction. And but I don't really, I think it'd be awesome just to go, but the thought of like taking her off the throne and all that's just like, I mean, everyone's just trying to get better. And
that's true.
No, as a competitor, for like, I think there's only one way to answer that. It's like, as a competitor, you want to knock out the best.
Yeah.
When you're training, like, you want to play the best, you want to beat the best at the end of the day.
Exactly. Yeah. So, we're going to be fighting to the end. And that's like the coolest thing about, I think, this is, you push it back another year, but we're still like neck and neck. And, I think it's the same with the guys right now. It's not clear who's going on their side, and it kind of just makes it more exciting for everyone to watch too. So, no, but it would be awesome to go, and I wouldn't say dethrone her, but I mean, you just want to go to the Olympics. Yeah. That's the goal at the end of the day.
What's your favorite? Let's just go FIVB. What's your favorite tour stop to play at?
I would say Brazil is huge. I went to Brazil literally like 3 days after we won the national championship last year as our first stop. And our coach at the time was Brazilian, so he knew like all the ins and outs and restaurants and food that we had to try. So it was just like a more like lackadaisical lifestyle, in my opinion. I mean, we didn't tour all of Brazil, but we went to Rio, and it just seemed like everyone was just having like the best time of their lives, just like on the beach. I almost questioned, like, does anyone work here? Because everyone was just having so much fun. And it just didn't seem like everyone was like on a time crunch. Like, you get here in the US and it's like, you have to be doing something at every minute of the day, but it was just so, it was nice to see, and the food was amazing. So I'm all about the food, but I have to say Brazil was
Have you been to Gestad? Have you been to that one?
Gestad, yeah, we went. Oh my God, that would probably be my second. But we only stayed there for a couple days because we didn't make the actual tournament. But I would say it's like a real life Disneyland, you know, Switzerland. I went to Lucerne with Tori Van Winden, probably 3 or 4 years ago. And it was just drop dead gorgeous. It's just so expensive to like eat there.
So that's where my club team is. We're at the base of the Swiss Alps, and it's
really?
like right outside. And it's where you live on the German side, but when you cross the border, like the price just like everything just shoots up. It's crazy.
Yeah, like
expensive.
A burger's like $30. Like,
yeah,
what
30
the heck?
American dollars.
Yeah, if you make the transfer, it's crazy. Like so you have to pay to go to the restroom a lot in Europe too. I'm sure you experienced that.
Just go on the streets.
In Switzerland, you're paying so much money to go to the restroom.
It's crazy. I know. So when we lost, we're like, we need to get the heck out of here because we're gonna be poor by like the next stop.
Exactly. No, that's the thing. Like for you guys, the traveling every week, I'm sure like it's really cool, but at the same time, that can be so draining.
And with the traveling, does USA pay for it if it's an FIVB event or
like top
two?
Yeah,
it's a little weird. Basically, it just depends. It's like a ranking system, but if you go to a tournament and you end up finishing like a top 3 USA team, and it's a 4 or 5 star, then you get like a certain amount of money to help pay for, you know, food and travel. But you know, you have to get yourself there, and then you have to perform. And if you don't perform, then you don't get any of that stipend. Yeah. So there is, and I think that's why there's so much like competition with the USA girls and just how it's all ran. It's hard, but that's, you know, you gotta have to play the game. Everyone else is playing that game. So, but yeah, I think that makes it hard, especially, you know, coming out of college and, you know, all of that, all of that stuff.
Speaking of coming out of college, were you always set on going straight into the AVP, or were you considering playing pro indoor at all?
I really wanted to. I mean, I went to Loyola Marymount. Like, I joke around, but there's 2 reasons why I went. One was because my idol, Betsy Flint, on the AVP was there, and I grew up watching her. And the coach at the time was the assistant for the national team, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. I get to like kind of see how he runs things, whatever. So I originally wanted to play on the national team, and it was probably gonna be libero because I was so short. But I think once Lauren Fendrick called me up in 2018 after the first national title, like that week after, and kind of just saw what an AVP was like, and obviously did pretty well. I think I wasn't getting any bait on the indoor side, and you know, that wasn't it. There wasn't a path for me there, I guess. So I think this is kind of like a different path that I was willing to take, and we did really well. Me and Lauren did. So but yeah, definitely had indoor aspirations for sure.
So you've seen success in the indoor and outdoor game. So so obviously guys don't have a beach, so I don't have that kind of perspective of this question I'm about to ask you. But my question would be that how important is it for, let's start with the beach, a beach player to go and play on a successful team? Because right when you graduate, you're kind of investing in yourself. You're not going to be part of an organization. It's yourself, right? So you're like, okay, I don't need to get like signed somewhere. I just got to go and win, right? So if you feel, okay, this school has a better coach, but that school has a better team, what would you say, where would you choose in that situation? And how does that differ from indoor when you're like, okay, if I want to get signed somewhere, I probably have to be on a really good team and I have to play really, really well.
So are you saying like, how would I choose beach from indoor, or I'm sorry?
So like, how would you choose, if you're on the beach, how would you choose, would you choose a good team, or would you choose, college? Yeah. Would you rather choose a good team, or would you rather choose a better coach?
God, that's a really good question that I haven't been asked. I mean, it's just in my competitive nature to be on a winning team. Like, I think, and I think the coach comes with that. In this day and age, beach volleyball is, you don't have like a couple good players and you're going to just win like it was, in my opinion, a couple years ago. Like, there's really good players, really good coaches, but I think with a good team comes a good coach. And so I think that was, you know, I wanted to go to UCLA to win national championship. And, you know, I obviously looked at the coach, and Steins was, you know, making a great team from 5 years ago, and they kept, you know, increasing in Gulf Shores. So, I mean, yeah, I think, yeah, like I said, I think where a good team is, you'll find a good coach will be there. It players just don't win championships anymore by themselves.
Right. And I saw, because I was speaking to a lot of, I'm not going to name any names, but I was speaking to a lot of beach transfers. And they were kind of having this conversation of where to go. And then they were like, oh, they would name somewhere that maybe wasn't the best volleyball wise. But I was like, wait a minute, because beach is way different from indoor, right? You got to play well and be on a good team. Well, you usually get signed on a higher team. So I was just kind of thinking about that. And I was like, maybe you don't need to, maybe you do. But obviously, I mean, I'd say it worked out in your favor, and definitely UCLA is a phenomenal program for sure.
Yeah.
So we did a little research, and we explored your delve into YouTube a little bit, and we found your parody.
What song was it?
It was New Rules. Isn't that
when you lose a point, you just left hand at least.
Dua Lipa?
Is that
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dua Lipa parody. We'll show it here, a little clip. We'll show it here once we get this edited. But what's your experience been like since because you just started that? Yeah, it looks like you posted
the whole YouTube thing. How's that? Oh, that was, during the pandemic, like right when I got back to Phoenix, everything's shut down. There's no goals anymore. Everything's pushed back, and there's like that moment of uncertainty, like what the heck do I do? And so I just started diving into stuff I've never done before. So I started a website. I was like, might as well start the whole YouTube thing, like figure out what this is about. And it's been fun. It's like a whole different world. It's just, there's so much. I was like, oh, like how do I get this like little like what is a thumbnail? Like all these different things that you're trying to figure out. And I was just like geeking over it for like 3 weeks. I'm like, this is so awesome just to dive into something I've never done. But I have to give credit to all those people. That is hard stuff. And I try to get in front of the camera and I just like make fun of myself because I'm like, I can't do one take. It takes me like 20 takes just to like conclude my video. And I feel weird no matter how many times I say, hey, like this is Sarah Sponcil, like welcome to my, like that's always going to feel weird. And I've just accepted it. But
like, subscribe, comment,
Right. It never gets easier. I'm like, maybe if I do it a couple times, like it'll be fine. I'm like, oh God, I have to like say this if I want to like actually subscribers.
No, I get that because usually like you see all these vloggers and you're like, you make fun of them like, and like maybe I was like, damn it, I gotta start doing that.
No, I felt like I just like know all my friends that I've talked to in the past, like, oh my God, did you like see that girl? Like she's like asking people to subscribe. This is so weird. And then I'm the one doing it. I'm like, sorry guys, just like be prepared. But I like actually had to say that in my video. And but it's funny. It's been fun though. I kind of like slacked a little bit, but
I mean it's so fun because it makes for interesting stories. So we started. I mean, when did we start? Like 2 months ago, if that.
Yeah, we just started.
So we just started, right? So first we just did Zoom calls. We just tried to do it live on YouTube, and I can't tell you how many times we would go before and we were trying to figure something out. We'd just be like, fight. You'd be like, what the heck? Like we're on in 3 minutes. Like we're all just yelling at each other.
So stressful.
And then you're like live. We're like, welcome back to Out of System, because we're all just like, just the tension's there. You just feel it. There's like,
you're just like sweating, and people are like, what the hell?
we had to switch to. So now we do post production. We used to just kind of go live and then shoot it on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
We're like, there were so many. We had to take weeks off and had to like to kind of figure stuff out. Like
really?
Like guys, we need a week off, like to figure everything out. And it wouldn't even be that much better next week, but we take kind of slow steps. I'm not saying that we're so much better now.
I mean, it seems like you got your stuff together a little bit,
I mean, we try.
You got a microphone. That's more than I have. So.
The cool thing though is like, so we were talking about media in volleyball, this in general, and we as soon as we started this up, Madison McKibben like hit us up and he wanted to talk some stuff with ideas that we have. And once the state starts opening up, there's a lot of cool videos we're gonna shoot, and we were starting to get some new equipment. But we want to get your opinion though on where you think the state of like media in volleyball is, because that's the one reason why you see like basketball and football, like the media obviously because there's so much more money on that side, but the media and everything, they're just like on another level. And then volleyball, like I want to hear your opinion on where you think the status of media and social media is with volleyball and where it could be improved.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to the McKibbens too, and I really like the direction they're going with telling stories. And I think that's just where people are attracted to now, is like not just how good of an athlete are you, or like how successful are you, but it's just like, what's your story and like what's your personality? Like people want to connect with their fans and get to know them. And so like the more I talk to them at Gibbons and the more they, you know, they're doing a lot with AVP and Wilson. I'm part of Wilson, and I think that's a great way to start with trying to, you know, increase the media for volleyball. And obviously we don't have a ton of money, but I think just starting to I don't know, just share the people's stories, you know, from the AVPs and professionals and indoor professionals, all of that, because no one knows anything about the indoor professionals. You know, they go overseas for, you go overseas for 6-7 months, and you know, people want to know what you're doing, but there's no media talking about like the struggles and like, and I know kids out there want to know like, what is it like to do this, and like what are the struggles, and you know, what are the good things type thing about it. And I think the more we can share that, you know, the more sport's going to get out there, because, I mean, yeah, but it sucks because we don't have like a ton of money, but I think just starting small and like you guys just having interviews and getting it out there and doing that is, you know, what we can do right now. So I've enjoyed that.
I think the most, I don't know, I would be interested to hear your opinion on it, but like people are most interested in somebody they can relate to or somebody they can like fantasize like about. Like those are the two things. Like they want to be able to relate to somebody. So you're like athletes like in basketball, like Steph Curry, somebody who's like shorter, like those type of players, like, oh, he's 6'3", like that's like more normal than most players.
Right.
Or like somebody who's just like so like MJ, like he's just like almost looked upon like unearthly. Yeah.
Right.
And like those people are always the most interesting to people. Like the athletes who are just like fit the form of like that sport or whatever. Like I see a lot of times like those people don't care as much about them, but they want to be able to relate. And so in volleyball, like finding a way to do that, I feel is the way to improve, I guess, the media and the social media, make it more interesting for people.
Yeah. And I think, it's just right now it's like hard to catch people's attentions. And I totally agree. Like making people feel related to you, and that you can get, even though like I'm a pro, you're a pro, like we can get on your level and realize what you're going through as, you know, in the recruiting process or whatever it is, because we've gone through it. But I totally agree. Just, I mean, I just think the people that shined in this, like, or I don't know how long this pandemic is going to go on for, but that shine in the past like 3 or 4 months are the people that have personality. And because it's not about your talent at this point, it's not about like how many championships we've won or how many games we've won, you know, it's just like, how can you connect with people? And I think that's the biggest thing people are looking for right now. And it's crazy. I've talked to a lot of people about just social media and where it's going and sponsorships and all this stuff. And to be honest, it's not, like I said, it's not about, are you like a 5-time all-star NBA, like MVP, whatever it is, but can you connect to someone? Can you have a conversation? Do people think you're funny, or what's that like thing, you know, putting yourself above other people? It's like your face, your personality, and like, are you good at something? But it's all of it.
For sure. It's remarkable to me when you, because obviously with all of this, tons of documentaries coming out right now because people are they just want content. And so ESPN, they release a lot of cool stuff. It's really interesting to see the top athletes in the world is how, I don't know if antisocial is the word, or just socially awkward. Like they can't interact with like normal people like other people do, just because they're still like in their mind, they're training and their lifestyle, they're just so isolated.
And it takes just a different breed kind of like to reach that level, like of not like but your ego just like, I mean, pretty high. And then also with the fact that you're also just like focused on that, and like and if you're that driven, and the kind of like a melting pot of that's just gonna create.
What would you say the most difficult part of your career has been to this point?
I think the most difficult part was just I think the speed of how fast it went. And like once we won the national championship, we jumped on the road 3 days later, and I didn't come back for like, I mean, I came back for a week or two, like here and there, but I was gone through mid-August, September. And I think everything was happening so fast. Like same, like you've experienced it. I mean, maybe not traveling all over, but everything's different. Like nothing's handed to you. Like we have to, book our own flights, find our own food, figure out how, the whole playing on the court thing, that's just like
Wash your
on the
clothes,
side.
figuring that out.
And it's just a lot. And I think it came so fast, and I tried to act like, just trying to block out all the noise of the Olympics and all these people saying stuff. And it's, as much as you push it away, it's just still going to come. And I think mentally it was just really hard. Physically, it wasn't like crazy, yes, for traveling, but mentally and just being with the pros and being in that atmosphere, and not really having time to reflect on like how far I've come and how quickly things have come. And I'm like trying to go for the Olympics. It's a huge deal, and it was just coming so fast. So I think that's been the hardest part. And I think this whole pandemic was a blessing in disguise, because I kept telling my like parents, I'm like, I just wish I could just have a couple months off and just like enjoy the opportunity that's in front of me. And like, it was supposed to be like 2 or 3 months away. And I just felt like I couldn't enjoy it, because it was like, oh my God, what's next? Like this trip, we got to win this. And so I think honestly, it's great. And I've loved every minute of this quarantine, because I've had time to reflect. But I think the speed of how quickly things have gone was a lot.
So you talked about how everything kind of moved quickly, and you had about 3 days till you're on the road. So once you were really on your own, was there any like, I guess, off the court kind of daily tasks that you were kind of had to learn that you're like, oh, snap, so like snap, like I gotta learn this quick, like I said, like washing your clothes or something like simple like that?
Yeah, I mean, being on the road, like I said, we have to find our own flights. I don't know if you guys do your own flights or like have to find your own flights.
We have team people who do that.
Dang it. Okay, so I don't know if this is bad, but I never really had to book my own flights till literally when I was going from place to place. And we called our team procrastination, because it would be 3 days before we left from like China to Brazil or somewhere, and we're like, we should probably get flights now because we're leaving soon. So just that, trying to find food, like washing clothes. Like sometimes there's no washing places near you, so you have to like drag your luggage to random places. Just it's just, you learn to be, like the term adversity really shines in those moments. But
beach players, you guys are the most like independent of anybody for sure.
I think the good thing that I love about Kelly and I is just, in those moments we just laugh, because it's like, you can't not laugh when you're trying to make 5 flights from Brazil to China, and you're just running and you're sweating and you're just like, no human being would like actually do this right now. And but I think that's what's what makes it fun, and you remember everything that goes wrong. So
absolutely. We had a similar, the only so like I've booked a couple flights here and there for my personal travel or whatever, but we had like when the COVID thing came down, and they literally like in a day they canceled our league. Like it was the most crazy thing. And then Trump was talking about how they're going to shut the border. Like, so nobody knew really what was going on. And we were kind of like, all right, we got to get home before like the flights start shutting down in Europe and stuff. So we canceled like 8 p.m. one night. The next morning, I'm like, all right, we need to go. And I told our travel person with our club, and she's like, all right, your flight's in 6 hours here. So I had to pack my entire apartment up. Everything like I own, it was the crazy.
Oh my gosh. How long were you in Switzerland for before that?
I was in Germany. I was on Germany. We live on a lake, like on the other side of Switzerland.
Oh, okay.
But I was there from August till middle of March.
Oh my God. You didn't come home for Christmas?
No, we couldn't, because we were in Champions League and stuff, and so we had to live. Gosh. But that's a short season. I was supposed to be there till middle of May. So we're
that's crazy. So I much respect to the indoor girls and guys that go over, because that's just like, you're in that one place, and if you don't like it, you're not like, okay, we don't like this place, we'll go somewhere else type thing. That's crazy. Much respect to you guys.
So when you were on your own and you kind of had to I guess defend for yourself as well. So I'm sure once you become a pro, your first thing is like, okay, I mean, it's not your first thing in your mind, but it's definitely in your mind. Okay, like paycheck and stuff like this. So were there sponsors that kind of came at you once you got out, or are you sponsored now, or what's the situation with that?
Yeah, so it was, I was talking to, so I'm sponsored by Monster, Wilson, and Adidas right now, and I was talking to Monster, basically right after I graduated and went to Brazil, and I mean, things were going so fast that I didn't really have time to communicate with anyone, so I was kind of just on my own. I was like, I kind of want to just deal with it when I'm, done with this whole season because there was just so much, and thankfully my mom basically helped me with everything. And I thought a sponsorship was like, oh, just like sign on the dotted line. No, there's like so much more that goes into it. It's like a way longer process. And my mom, thankfully, has helped me so much. I call her my agent. And so she helps me with all of that. And but we didn't get things really squared away with any of them till November through like January-ish. So I was thankful that we kind of got that settled before all this happened. So yeah.
Is there any clothing sponsorship that you want to be sponsored by in the future? I mean, usually people say Lululemon.
I love Adidas. I'm like
Adidas.
all
Get
Adidas.
sponsored by Gucci.
Prada. I don't know. I don't know.
Plug up.
Gucci. Prada, but love it. No, but I'm really content with how things are going, and
that's good.
See how it goes.
Right. Wait, so you are sponsored by Adidas right now, or you want to be?
No, I am. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I heard Monster.
Oh no, yeah.
Okay, sorry. All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I love them.
Do you play much grass volleyball at all?
I haven't at all. I don't know. I've heard like horror stories of it being like bumpy and like weird holes and just people spraining ankles, but I haven't done it really in a while. Do you guys do it?
We play grass decent. I mean, decent, like here and there, but
just because everything's closed. So in Southern California, I hear they're putting the nets up. For Northern California, they're kind of slowly doing that, but we also don't have a beach. We're in for Northern California, we go find a park. I mean, I don't know how it is in Arizona.
Where are you guys like right now?
The Bay Area.
We live in the Bay Area.
Oh, okay.
San Francisco Bay Area.
So like we found like you can say like Santa Cruz, but Santa Cruz is about 2 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours from us. We're not going to travel 2 hours, right? And there's a park, maybe 1 or 2 courts, and those are going to be occupied. So grass volleyball has really emerged. Like clubs are starting grass volleyball stuff right now. So to kind of lead into Joe's, that's what's been happening.
I guess we throw a beach or grass volleyball because we were talking about earlier, like cool place to have a grass volleyball tournament. But for you, where would be like
in the whole world,
in the entire world, would be the coolest place to have a beach volleyball tournament that currently doesn't have one?
In my backyard.
I think Greece. I want to go to Greece really bad, and I feel like their beaches are amazing. Yeah, I was actually talking, my birthday's coming up. I'm like, so guys, can we just like go to Greece for like a week and just, get some friends, go. No one's doing anything. But yeah, I've always wanted to go, so I'd probably say there.
Yeah, that's somewhere I want to go really badly too.
Really?
For sure. That's why
he always talks about it.
It's amazing. My sister went. She went like cliff jumping, and I'm like, oh, I want to go. I want to do all of that.
Oh, super cool, for sure. Well, we don't want to keep you much longer, but for you, what do the plans look like for the rest of summer? Since there isn't any AVP, do you kind of know what you're going to be doing?
Yeah, so I'm going back to California tomorrow, and we're gonna be. I talked to my coach and Kelly about kind of like what our plan is, like you said, and there's things that we want to work on, and obviously we're not gonna like go full bore and lift heavy weights because there's literally nothing to lift for right now. And as much as I love like feeling like fit and strong, it's just like I don't want to tear my body apart for no reason. So we're gonna try to like get out in the sand if we can 2 or 3 times a week. Maybe do some clinics around once things start opening up, make some money because we are jobless at the moment. Yeah. But yeah, kind of just take it easy, but it's just crazy. I mean, you guys know there's just so much uncertainty and there's so many questions like, should I be doing this? Should I not be doing this? Like, what should I be doing right now? And I think there's no good answer. So
yeah. What other hobbies do you do besides volleyball? Like, what do you like to do in your free time usually?
Other than video editing.
I'm a YouTuber now, so obviously that.
Give the fans a shout out here of your YouTube channel. Tell them to
what is
subscribe.
The name of YouTube?
Let's hear your like, subscribe, follow. Let's see how it is.
Subscribe below to sarahsponcil.com for volleyball. There will be parodies to drills that you can do. No, but Yeah, I've obviously gotten into that, but I'm kind of just like doing anything that's active and challenging myself. So, um, go hiking, play some soccer, basketball here and there. But
Soccer?
there's
You
not
play
like one
soccer?
thing that I've never played soccer. I love
Oh, really?
soccer and I try to juggle and I bought myself some cleats. I tried to like be like this soccer
You
player.
bought yourself cleats?
I
That's pretty
did, but
committed.
because I'm sponsored by Adidas and they had friggin' soccer cleats. I'm like, of course I'm gonna friggin' buy myself soccer cleats. So I have been, yeah, I'm okay with playing by myself. I'm a geek and I'm like nerdy like that. But I've been trying to just juggle. I learned how to juggle recently. Like, so.
I can only go my right. I thought. Can you juggle a soccer ball or no?
Yeah, no, yeah, that and I actually learned how to actually juggle
Fire sticks. One of our teammates in Hawaii,
He's a fire dancer.
He's a fire dancer. He could and he could do all this crazy stuff.
Oh my god, no.
Yeah.
That's later on in the juggling career.
Well, Sarah, you've been a phenomenal guest. You were a true baller in all sense of the word, and we've had a lot of fun talking to you. We wish you the best of luck on the YouTube channel and
go follow her.
Exactly.
Subscribe,
please,
like.
go follow me. You know, I need everything I can get.
And we wish you safe travels tomorrow. Good luck with the rest of your career. Hopefully, we'll be in contact. Maybe
see you in Tokyo next year.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. I'll let you know if I'm going to Greece. You know, tag along.
Perfect. Perfect. Absolutely.
Sounds
Sarah,
good.
thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, guys. Talk to you soon.
3, 2, 1. Missed it a little bit.
Sarah Sponcil. That was my first time meeting her. So the cool thing is a lot of times,
Virtually meeting.
Virtually. Spiritually. So the cool thing is when we have guests, it's usually the first time I meet them. So Joe is actually in charge of getting the guests because, you know, he's a big hotshot. He knows all the people. He has the connections. Like that.
You know, we just shoot our shot. That's
Exactly.
what we do. We just shoot our shot.
Dude, that's the thing.
We always are shooting shots here.
It's always blue check marks. We're always just sending it. We send it out of system, then we send it to our personal accounts, and then eventually when they get tired of us, we're like, all right, fine, we'll come on the show. And then we get them on the show through pity.
Most of our guests we know, though.
That's true, but sometimes we have to beg.
Relatively know.
We're like, please come on the show. I sent him me crying. I sent him a picture of my dog.
Me and my dog. Our dog wants you to come on the show, please.
No, but Joe,
what she was talking about though with the traveling, like when I see their lifestyles, because I know we brought on the Beach Volleyball Vikings, I know the Moles, and when I like see on their social media, they're always traveling, and they're in Europe. A lot of the FIVB tournaments are in Europe, so they're fortunate, so they're not traveling super far, but they're still like on the trips they have to go to Asia, they're going to South America. Like their lifestyle is just ridiculous, and the people who are like Sarah, who are balancing the AVP, FIVB, like every weekend of that 4 to 6 month period, you're traveling on the road. You're not home, and it's a difference. It's cool, but also at the same time, it's a tough situation. And like she said, like for me, like and all the other indoor guys, you're in one city for the whole year, and I don't know. Maybe I would like traveling every weekend in different cities more. I don't know. I've never.
That's the thing. She was talking about how she won the second national championship, and then all of a sudden she's now a pro. 3 days later, she's on the road. Right? Imagine this.
With Monster.
Exactly, with monsters. Chugging monsters before games, just diving all over the place. I have a funny story about that, but I'll tell you guys later about that in a future show here.
It's a lot of stuff, Gage. So be careful.
So imagine, put yourself in this mindset right here. You just graduated, okay? 3 days later, you're a professional beach volleyball player, and then a year or two later, and you're not even like you fully have the time to soak it in. And then all of a sudden you're in the Olympics, right? But now she has the time to kind of be like, okay, sit down and be like, okay, this is what it truly means. Like, whoa, this is like a big, and I'm sure she kind of had that, but now she like fully grasps what I feel. And that's just nuts. Just like the constant go. And then probably afterwards, you're like, whoa. But now before you can be like, okay, this is what's going down.
Yeah, for sure. And before we sign off here again to our Aide Brate Ferrado. His birthday is tomorrow. Everybody please go down. Wish him a happy birthday below. DM him. Tag him and stuff on Instagram. It's his birthday. We love him. He's the out-of-system master. Literally and figuratively. On here, he's behind the scenes and out-of-system in games. He hits out-of-system. So, again, love you, Rado.
But
happy birthday.
before we sign off, we just want to say, guys, like, comment, subscribe below. Come on, help us out right here, out of system. You know, we're basically influencers now. You know, like, we're big time. You know, I'm just kidding. We don't take ourselves that seriously. But if you could, please subscribe below. And this has been another episode of Out of System.